What if your greatest attempts at attracting a higher quality man and all of your strategies that you're using to be more attractive are actually doing the opposite effect in driving quality men away? In this video, I'm going to teach you the one concept that'll help you to attract higher quality men while repelling away the guys that are not a good fit. I'm Jason Silver, the dating coach for ambitious women, and today we're talking about the power of polarity. One of the biggest dating epidemics right now is going out on dates, having some kind of an attraction or a connection, maybe even creating a real relationship, only to have it end with either the guy completely leaving and ghosting you, or just finding out that he was nothing what you expected and it wasn't a good match. It leaves you feeling exhausted, tired, and just totally bummed out about the prospect of getting out there and dating again. And it has to end. It has to stop. And I'm going to teach you how to apply the power of polarity to repel those guys from the get-go and start dating and meeting higher quality men. Now, the power of polarity is a concept that if you attract everyone, you're actually attracting no one. You have to start doing things and being an authentic version of yourself that is going to attract a smaller number of men and repel away a greater number of men. Now, this is a scary concept for many people. Why would you want to repel certain people away? Well, I'll give you an example of how the power of polarity was applied in business to help build a great company. You see, Avis, the rental car company, was number 2 behind Hertz. And they went to an ad agency to come up with a marketing strategy on how they can improve their business because they were really failing. And the ad agency decided to just admit that, hey, we're number 2, so we try harder. Well, Avis did a poll, and over, I think it was 51% of people were completely turned off by the ad and basically felt like it was making Avis sound like they were second rate. But the CEO of Avis knew that if they just captured that other 49% and positioned themselves appropriately with that half of the market, that they would be in a prime position to grow. And so they went ahead, and that's exactly what happened. It made it completely polarizing. 50% of people were completely turned away, but the other half of people out there were magnetically attracted to Avis and felt like, wow, these people are really trying harder as number 2. I'm going to stick with them. The strategy worked. Now, I personally used the power of polarity to attract my wife. When I was going out there and when I was talking to women on the phone before I went on dates with them, I was very clear on who I was and who I was not. There was several women that I talked to, one that I remember specifically, and she loved to go out, she liked to go dancing, she liked to stay out late on the weekends, and I was pretty clear that I'm kind of nerdy. I mean, that's how I positioned it with her, that, you know, I like to go to bed early, I like to read books, I don't really live that lifestyle. Well, I was polarizing. It was pretty early on in the conversation that we both agreed that it wasn't a good fit, but she really identified who I was and thought that I would be a good fit for her sister. So she tried introducing me to her sister. So it just goes to show you that right from the get-go, I was polarizing and I attracted an introduction to someone that would be a good fit while I repelled someone that was clearly not a good fit. So I'm going to teach you 4 ways that you can use the power of polarity in your own dating life to attract a higher quality guy that's a good fit for you and repel away the guys that are not a good fit. Now, the first strategy is with your online dating profile pictures. And I see this mistake all of the time. Women try to cover up their body by either using camera angles that don't really fully show themselves or wearing certain clothing that covers the curvature of their body. And this is what I would really encourage you to do. Be polarizing and show your body. Not in an immodest, inappropriate way, but show your curvature. Show the lines in your body. The very curves that you're trying to hide are the very things that are going to attract the right man, because you want a man who's going to be attracted to you and your body. And it's really important to show guys what that looks like so when they meet you in person, they're not completely surprised or turned off because it's not the right fit. And the truth of the matter is, believe it or not, regardless of what your body type is, there are men out there that are attracted to it. There are men out there that are attracted to every different type of body size. So you need to be polarizing and show men what body type you are in your pictures without trying to hide it. Be proud, be confident. I know it could be scary. I've got body image issues myself. Who doesn't? But it's so important. You got to be yourself, and you've got to show yourself so you can attract the type of guy who will be attracted to your body. And trust me, it's much more attractive showing your body than hiding it. It's going to capture way more guys' attention when they're perusing the online dating profiles than if you just use pictures that are either too far away or out of focus or hiding your body. So remember to use pictures and not to cover yourself and hide yourself. Show who you are. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be polarizing and to turn off some guys, because ultimately you want someone who's attracted to you. The second way you can be polarizing in your online dating is in your profile. So often I see profiles that are just kind of vague, very generic. They don't want to be too controversial. They don't want to state something that might turn off certain guys. I would encourage you to be as authentically you as possible. You're perusing thousands of profiles potentially, so you want to stand out. And the way to stand out is to be as authentically you as you can, and don't be afraid to turn people off that don't like what you like or don't value what you value, because the people who do like what you like and do value what you value will be that much more magnetically attracted to you in your profile. So be yourself. Don't be afraid to be a little bit controversial or polarizing. A good example of that is if you really, really like to travel and you're like, oh, I'm afraid I don't want to turn guys off that don't like to travel. Be polarizing. If you love your dogs, or if you love your cats, don't be afraid of being the crazy cat lady, because the right guy is going to love you for being the crazy cat lady. And if you love your cats and if they're a big part of your life, then mention them. Mention the fact that you have 3 cats and you love them and you spend time with them. I know it's like a big no-no. So many people say hide it, but I would encourage you to talk about it and to repel the guys that hate cats, because they're probably not going to be a good fit if you're super passionate and have a great relationship with your cats. So be sure to be polarizing in your profile. Number 3, if you're talking to a potential date on the phone, don't try to put on a show. Don't try to put on a facade or be cool. I would encourage you to be as authentically you as possible. If that means that you're a little awkward, embrace it, okay? Be a little awkward. Be yourself. Don't be afraid or judgmental, because if you try to be like Miss Cool, too cool for school, super suave, and then the guy meets you in person and you're awkward, well, that's just going to blow everything. It's going to totally waste your time, because he's going to realize that you're not who you pretended to be over the phone. Listen, it's okay to be awkward. The first phone call I had with my wife was super awkward, okay? And we ended up going out on a date, and it got a lot better, because we just did better in person. But we were authentic. Like, my wife and I were both authentically awkward over the phone. It just makes everything easier laying it all out on the table. And there's some guys or some people that might totally be turned off by that. But that would be great for me. I would want to turn those people off, because I don't want to be with someone who's judgmental and who isn't open-minded to get to know someone in a deeper, more intimate setting. So for me, it was great, and I encourage you to do the same thing and to be authentically yourself over the phone. And that brings me to the 4th tip, which is to be authentically yourself in person. I can't tell you how many times I hear that a relationship is going great for the first few dates or for the first week or even for the first few months, but then at some point, the conversation starts veering to, what do you really want out of life? What are you really looking for? What are your lifelong goals? What are your passions? What do you really value? And then all of a sudden the relationship ends because there's a misalignment. I encourage you from the get-go, when you're going out on dates, to be yourself, to talk about the things that you care about, to not be afraid to talk about the future. Don't be afraid to talk about what you're looking for in a relationship. Be polarizing. The guys who are a good fit will stay there for you. There is a line, I think it was from Dr. Seuss. It is so important to follow this line of thinking in your dating. The idea, or the quote, is that those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. If you enjoyed this video and you want to get notified of all of my upcoming videos on how to attract and meet higher quality men, then just hit the subscribe button below this video and the little notification bell right after you hit subscribe so you get alerted every single week when I come out with a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.